Welcome into the Sporting News Studios. Tom Vandervoort with staff writer Matt Crossman here to talk about, well, let's talk about Cody Zeller, Matt. I mean, you spent some time with this guy. Indiana rated #1 in the preseason poll here on Sporting News. And what did you find out? What was the most striking thing you found out about Cody Zeller?
Well, the most striking thing you can't help but notice when you talk to him is he's 8
big.
feet
He's really tall.
It's like he's like unfolding like go gadget body. And the next thing you know, it's like, hey, what's going on up there? But you know, as for a sophomore, he's as good as you're going to get in terms of being well-rounded. And I think the obvious story that probably most college basketball fans know that comes from having played with, you know, 2 older brothers who are also ginormously huge and extremely talented.
Now, what does he do for the team? It feels like, you know, one thing you mentioned in your piece was that the year after he gets there, their 3-point shooting improves. So how does that work?
Well, I mean, he's the focus for the whole team. That, you know, you can work through him, you can have him score, and he can run the floor, he can rebound, he can play defense. So, I mean, yeah, he's the best player in the country. So he's probably important to that particular team. But the amount of pressure on him, you know, to save Indiana basketball, I mean, that's not fair to put on a 19-year-old kid, but that, you know, it's not us doing it, everybody else does it. You know, it's the team putting that pressure on. That is
an interesting aspect because he comes from a family, obviously the third Mr. Basketball of Indiana, Mr. Indiana Basketball in that family, but the first to go to IU. You know, obviously with Luke going to Notre Dame, Tyler going to North Carolina, so that he kind of accepted. He had to know that was coming, I would think.
Yeah, Tom Crean identified him as key to their rebuilding process when Cody was in like 10th grade. So you know, he had a target on him that said IU, that IU wanted to get him. And you know, it's funny. You talk to people at IU, and the day that he committed is, you know, people know where they were when they heard that he committed, which is. It probably says just about all you need to know about IU basketball.
So there were a lot of expectations, and he has lived up to them so far.
So far.
What do we expect out of him this year that maybe is a step? What would represent a step forward for this guy?
Well, frankly, it's the national championship or bust. It's got to be. They're our #1 team. They're everybody else's #1 team. And, you know, maybe that's not a fair way to evaluate a season, that if you don't win a championship, it's a failure. But as of now, certainly if they don't win the Big Ten, it's a failure. And certainly if they don't make the Final Four, it's a failure. And I think you should expect him to be really more of the same, to be more of a presence. Tom Crean told me he wants him to shoot more, so then therefore you think he would score more. And once he starts doing that, then you know, the defenses are going to have to focus on him, and then he can dish it out for the 3, so you think their 3-point shooting would get even better than it was last year.
And finally, what do you think is as far as his future goes? I mean, do you think this is his last year at IU?
I do. You have to wait and see how the season plays out. And you know, I think people were a little surprised he came back. But at some point, you know, he has to make the wise decision and say, my stock is not going to get any higher than it is.
Right. I'm going to have a basketball career, and this is the time to go ahead and make that happen.
This is assuming that his second season is equal to or better than his first season. If he regresses, then then maybe he'll come back. But he would have been potentially a lottery pick last year. It looks like, you know, again, the season hasn't been played yet, but that he'd be a lottery pick next year. So at some point, you know, you just have to go.
All right, there you go. Cody Zeller, the #1 player on the #1 team in America, at least right now. For Matt Crossman, I'm Tom Vandervoort. Thanks for watching.